大家好，我是康云. Hello everyone, I'm Kang Yun, aka Cricket, aka Cloud, and welcome back to Chang'e's journey through Boletaria. Last time we took out the primeval demon, or the phalanx demon, and spoke with the monumental, spoke with the maiden in black. We leveled up a little bit, and we talked to the Sage's apprentice here and learned a few spells. I'd like to go over a few of the names of these spells in Chinese, just in case anybody's interested. I feel like that's something I wanted to focus on.
Are you begging for a magic lesson?
Yeah, we established I don't like his voice actor. So the name of this is enchant weapon in English. In Chinese, it's 附魔武器, which essentially 附魔 is like those first two characters there. It literally means like to add magic, but together those characters mean to be possessed by a demon. So like, I guess if something is possessed, or you could say it's enchanted, so enchanted weapon. Interesting note there. And this is protect. In Chinese, it's called 防护, which pretty straightforward translation there. Nothing really that noteworthy. That, I guess I should say, this adds magic to your weapon. It's a buff. And this is a self buff that it strengthens your, I believe, just physical defenses. Yeah, it just says it allows you to take less damage from attacks. It looks like it says.
I see. Suit yourself. Just ensure that you rescue Sage Frake as quickly as possible.
The spell we started with is 灵魂剑, which quite literally is soul arrow. 剑 being arrow, like the same sort of arrow that you fire with a bow. Then you have 火焰 脱之, which is flame, and then 脱之 is to throw or toss. So in English, this is flame toss. So another pretty straightforward translation. This is Little Demon's joke, or Little Demon prank. 笑恶魔的恶作剧, or 恶作剧 is that those last three characters. 恶作剧 is a practical joke or a mischievous prank. This one is straightforward. It is 阴形, or no, my tones were wrong there. 阴形, which means invisible, or to go invisible. And they call it cloak. It also can mean hidden. They call it cloak in English. And then this one is 水饺, which is water mask, and that's like 饺, like 口罩, 口罩 being a face mask, which is the kind of face mask that everybody wears now from COVID. That is a very popular word in Chinese vocabulary these days. So I thought that was noteworthy that it's water. In English they call it water veil, but in Chinese it's water mask. I guess you could say 饺 is to cover something. So it makes sense. I also wanted to point out that the mail breaker, and it makes sense that it mail being like chain mail or plate mail, and it breaks it. But in Chinese it's, I think, more straightforward. It's 破甲短剑, which is quite literally pierce armor short sword. And I'd like to point out the differences between there are two common words for sword in Chinese. For straight swords and swords, like, I guess, more Western style swords, which I guess you say Western, but a lot of Chinese swords were of this style as well, and they tend to be longer and typically straight, but the shiny swords were like this too. This, you can see that second character is jian, which means sword, and I think it's a fourth tone. Let me just verify that. I don't want to be getting that wrong. Yeah, jian is a fourth tone. So jian, you know, piercing, stabbing sword is the rapier.
Hello again. I'm keeping a close watch on your belongings, don't you worry.
I wanted to talk a bit about, well, just basically talk about or mention the scimitar in Chinese is the wan dao, and dao being the other word for sword. You see, that's ju jian, which is literally like ginormous sword or large sword. And this is wan dao. Dao is like a word for knife or sword, and it tends to be smaller curved swords. So, but these, it can also mean blade, but that you see that last character is not quite the same. It's a little different. I'm not sure of the nuances of that one. That last character there is ren, which means like the edge of a knife. So, what is that? 意识之人, which means ritual blade or, well, ritual edge. And that's the... I'm not sure of that, but I mean, obviously that last character makes up... The last two make up the word reaper. I don't know. Probably means like harvesting knife, harvesting blade. And then the first word is 四神, which is like reaper, I'm assuming, or it literally means death god, or death, like holy death spirit, or like, you know, like a holy being. That's 短剑, a broken sword. Like 短 is like to be broken or severed off, like the end is broken. I suppose I can show the other deluxe edition stuff,
You have a heart of gold.
because I didn't do that last time. You can't upgrade these, but this is the ritual blade. This is the weapon that the gold skeletons use in the Shrine of Storms. It has the same moveset as large axes do. So we can't use it. Requires 6... Wait. That's, I'm like, what? That's the this requires 12 strength only to wield, so it's pretty low amount actually. You cannot upgrade it. D strength, scaling, and E dex, so it's pretty overall not that powerful. I mean, you could level up your strength, I guess. It might be kind of fun to use. I don't even know if you can buff it. This is the Reaper's Scythe, requires 13 strength and dex. And it does 180 bleed. So that's what? Like 2 HP per second for a minute. E scaling and strength, and D index. Same moveset as the polearms. It's classified as a polearm in this game. And does it do magic damage? No, it doesn't, but it has that... It has that magic look to it. Interesting. And then this is the hoplite shield. This is actually a large shield, which I didn't think it would be at first, but I suppose it makes sense. It's got the slam. This is actually a pretty good shield. You cannot upgrade it. It needs 19 strength. Has 65 stability, 100 physical, 90 fire, and 30 magic. So, and it weighs 8 units. So it's essentially the same stats as the purple flame shield, only you can't upgrade it though. So if you're just starting out and you want a shield, it requires less strength, so it might not actually be a bad shield. Now, unlike the, I don't know if you can get the Reaper's Scythe. I know you can't get the Ritual Blade, but the Hoplite shield might not be a bad shield to use in the beginning if you're wanting like a big shield to block things with. So those are those weapons. Yeah, we can compare them here. They both weigh 8 units. They both have 170 durability. They have the same... Yeah, they're pretty much exactly the same apart from the strength requirement, the durability, and the stability. So this is 65 where this is 60. Has the same weight though, so you'll be able to use this more with lower stats, and you can farm it off of the hoplites. So it's a rare drop from them. Oh, I didn't show the red-eyed knight helm. You get the rest of the blue-eyed knight armor, which looks exactly the same as the red-eyed knight armor. The only difference is you get the helm. I mean, you get the full set, but the only real noteworthy piece is this helm. And when you equip it, you have this deep Darth Vader-like breathing, and you have this glowing red face like that red-eyed knight we fought. So that's pretty cool if you want to cosplay as a red-eyed knight.
I'm keeping a close watch.
And I think that's all. I guess I can show this ring of longevity, or in Chinese it's called the eternal ring, or eternal life ring. That's 永生 解之 being ring. The second two characters mean ring. The first character there means eternal, yong, and then sheng is like life, or can mean life. Life in the abstract sense. Not like somebody's life is a different character, Ming. But you see, when I have this equipped, my vitality is 601. And when I take it off, I've got 573. So it gives us a minimal amount of vitality. It might be better on vitality gouge builds. That seems like a ring you'd use for that. But that's a new ring added to the game, and you can get that in the game. You have to trade something to the crows to get it. Otherwise, it comes with the deluxe edition. We're not gonna use that ring though. We'll keep our fragrant ring. And we want to talk to the priest. Well, she should have more dialogue now that we've beaten the first level. Last time, oh, before I even do that, I'm forgetting. I wanted to talk about, just briefly, that Stockpile Thomas is funny because he has so much baggage from his past life that he ran away and left behind. And it's like he doesn't know what to do with himself, so he's like just... He is taking on the burdens, or the quite literal equipment and baggage from all the demon slayers. So he is quite literally a metaphor for all of the baggage and burden that you bear in the game. He carries it, and he literally carries the heavy burden of abandoning his wife and daughter and letting them die to the demons. and he gives you a ring that allows you to carry more things. And he gives up that ring to you because he apparently can he can take it all, I guess. Like, and that's like maybe what you might say he's like doomed, or his fate is to just carry these burdens. So I don't know. That's something it's kind of obvious, but I don't know if I've ever sort of pointed that out or made that conclusion myself. So I wanted to just mention that because I was thinking about it earlier. And we can talk to her again, and like I said, she should have more dialogue for us.
Back in the time that I lived below Boletaria Castle, King Alan left on some strange business, then returned with horrible demons in tow. Soon, the land was ravaged by soul-starved madmen. My spine shudders just to think about it. If I did not have my miracle stone shard, keepsake of my grandfather, I may not have survived.
So it's implied here that Alant.
If I did not have my miracle stone shard, keepsake of my grandfather, I may not have survived.
Because of Alant, the kingdom has come to ruin, and I think in the original, and Epic Name Bureau pointed this out in his playthrough, Marcus, that in the original localization, it made it seem like she was still trusting of Alant, but here it makes it more clear that she is in realization that Alant has caused this terrible state that Boletaria finds itself in. If we come over here, we can talk to this disciple of God.
Oh, you must be another disciple of God. I too am on a quest to fight the demons in the name of the Lord. May I share God's power with you? Do not be bashful. We are both cut from the same cloth.
Yeah, he's literally the God's follower in Chinese. He will teach us 4 miracles from the beginning of the game. Evacuate is a miracle that we are going to want to get at some point. Heal, 恢复. These are pretty straightforward. 解毒, that means to remove poison. That's antidote. What is this character? This means to retreat, or well, evacuate. I would assume. But it's a character I'm not familiar with. If you'll forgive me here. I think I've probably seen that, but I'm not remembering. It's not a character I see a lot. Yeah. Binan. Okay. Binan. It means to seek asylum, seek refuge. Refuge. Interesting. So it's a little bit different than the English translation, evacuate. I guess because when you evacuate somewhere, I guess you do in essence seek asylum, but I think that's and I don't know that's in, and I'm not sure that's second character. And then 灵魂, which is soul, but I mean it's hidden soul, but I'm not sure what that second character is. That also is the character B, but it's a different B. Together, 隐蔽, conceal, take cover, to hide, covert, undercover. So, concealed soul, you might translate that as. Which, this does the same thing that cloak does, or invisible does. But it only works on black phantoms, I suppose. I'm not sure. There's a lot of speculation as to why they would make a spell that hides you from everything, and then a miracle that only hides you from black phantoms. I guess if you, for some reason, only can use miracles and not spells, you might want to have this, but I don't know. We'll talk to him.
A miracle is a heavenly act, but spells are the acts of demons, the work of soul arts. They have similar effects, and yet one is clearly evil, and the other is clearly good. Magicians, in the end, are mere servants of the demons. A miracle is a heavenly act. They have similar effects. Magicians, in the end.
And he doesn't have any new dialogue just yet.
I see. You wish to train yourself in stoicism. Very well. I pray we meet again.
And we can talk to this guy over here.
I have sinned. I swore allegiance to Saint Urbain, but was of no use to him. And now I have run away and abandoned his augustness. O Lord, punish me, for I have not the strength to punish myself. Oh, august one, I hesitate to imagine your present state. Deep within the darkness, where no light shall ever shine, will you continue to pray, even in such misery?
And that's all the dialogue he has for us, so he is another cowardly persona we meet. And so those are the followers of God. There are some miracles I might want to get on this character, but for the most part we are going to be all magic focused. And all of that taken care of, we can finally get on with our next objective. And I'd like to point out that while this is a casual playthrough, I also intend for this to be a be able to be used as a guide for new players who are trying to get help for playing through the game on for their first time. So if I'm hoping that this will serve as some sort of quasi walkthrough. If you wanted to play along with me, you could play it in this order. And so what we're going to do here is go to the Phalanx Archstone, the Lord's Path. The King's Path is the name of this area. And we're not actually going to do this area. Oh, and that said, being a guide, I almost forgot. If we are going to be a guide, this is a very important thing, because we want to control our world tendency. We want to jump off to lose our body form in the Nexus. We want to do that because dying in body form in this game, in the worlds, will affect the tendency. And I talked about this briefly in the first episode, or I pointed it out, but you see all of the levels are still neutral. Boletaria is maybe a shade brighter than the others because we did kill a demon. We killed the phalanx, but if we were to die there in body form, it would shift it towards black, which we will eventually want to do, but we don't want to do it just yet. And another thing is while in body form, we can be invaded. And it's a good chance that if we do get invaded, we'll be invaded by somebody who has quite a bit stronger gear and will probably use some pretty nasty stuff to break our equipment, which we don't really want. So I would advise any new players who are wanting to control their world tendencies to, unless you're specifically trying to die in a world to get it to pure black, always die in the Nexus and play in soul form, which is why the Cling ring is such an important ring, because for a good chunk of the game you're going to be in soul form, so you're almost always going to want to have this ring on unless you don't necessarily need the HP, and in some cases you won't. So now we can continue. But we're really only coming here to get a few things. If we come through here, we want to be careful because there are some phalanx enemies, or hoplite demons. If we can get behind them, we can take them out pretty easily. But they're arranged in such a way that they can hit you from multiple sides, so you do want to be careful. Because if you run in there blindly, it's easy to get hit from 2 or 3 spears, which could kill you pretty quickly if you're not careful. And there's one up there. And we can access him by coming over here. And because you can't get behind him through here, and he dropped us some sharpstone, that's very nice. And there's another one here. Okay, I think that should take care of all of them. And there, we'll find another soul item over here. The flying knives we picked up over there aren't super useful for us because we are a magician, or we do use magic, so we're not really in need of ranged attacks. Over here, if you walk down here, you'll see an item, but you'll hear Ostrava.
Over here. It's me, Ostrava. Look at me. Again, fenced in by enemies. Could you assist me one last time? Clear out the soldiers blocking this passage, if it please you. The Lord's Path, just over there, is now a feeding ground for dragons. Have your wits about you.
And we get a nameless hero soul. Yeah, so he is trapped down there, and we have to free him again, or save him rather. I really only wanted the Providential Ring for killing the hoplites, so we'll go back to the Fragrant Ring now. And I can heal myself. We don't need this equipped. And I don't have any spice as of yet. So from this point, the only way we can go is forward. And this is quite literally a path to the Lord's castle. Now, these scorched bodies on the ground and the scream of the dragon should be a forewarning that you do not want to blindlessly run out here, because the dragon blows fire on this bridge. And you have just enough time to stop there and pick up that winged spear, which is one of the items I came here for. There's another crescent moon grass at the other end. The item in the middle was probably the most risky one to pick up, which is the one I picked up. It is the in English it's the winged spear. I'm not sure of those characters. If you just forgive me. It does have the radical for feathers on top. Yeah, E and then E Mao. E meaning wing-like wing area surrounding the bullseye of a target to assist one of the 28 constellations of Chinese astronomy. Flank side. Yeah, apparently it can. Yeah, 翼师 means wing. 翼师 is wing-like. So 翼毛 is. Yeah, it's literal translation of winged spear, but that is not wing like the wing of a bird necessarily. It's not the same character. But we are going to want to use this spear. We'll need a little bit more strength for it. We're going to make this moon, because we are Chang'e, who is the goddess of the moon, so I want to make a bunch of moon weapons. Anyways, we come over here, we'll encounter some more Boletaria soldiers. Axemen. Ooh. And these enemies do hit quite a bit harder, so you want to be mindful of that. And that is the other item we came here for, the wooden catalyst. And while we're here, we might as well go save Ostrava, because we did talk to him. But the wooden catalyst, I'll show here. That's the silver one. And that's that character. Chang'e, catalytic agent. Chang'e, that's not a word that I'm familiar with, because, well, it's not something you use in everyday speech. So you're learning with me, guys. And then the first character there is In, which is silver. And then 引致 zhi being of meaning nature, character, quality, substance. So meaning that the nature of that catalyst is silver. Maybe it's I don't know if it's solid silver, but it's definitely has silver components. This is the木质, so that's wooden catalyst. 触媒 being catalyst again. 触媒, that's a new word for me. I want to point out here, they both have C scaling. However, the silver catalyst has, if you're looking at the top, see that blue number 121, that there is our magic adjust, or basically what determines how powerful our offensive magic spells will be. And so obviously the higher the number, the better. You can disregard the attack number because you're never going to use this to attack something. So while they both get C scaling, the C is a incrementally stronger C that we cannot visibly see that, but there are different levels within the same scaling class. So from E being the weakest all the way up to S, within each level there's ranges. So while they both get C scaling, this one has a higher C and has a higher magic adjust. So but unlike this silver catalyst, you don't get the magic the MP boosts, so it's a trade-off. Do you want more MP or do you want more damage? If you want more damage, you want to use this catalyst, but if you're not casting offensive spells, the silver catalyst is perfectly fine. But we'll switch over to the wooden catalyst for now, because we want all the damage we can get. And we do still have we want to go this way. We don't want to go through the gates that way just yet. We want to go backwards. You want to be careful here because there are draglings hiding in the corners. That one there, and case in point. And up ahead, if Ostrava is down here, there will be a bunch of archers that aren't otherwise here. And you want to be pretty careful because there's quite a few archers, and one bolt by itself isn't that bad, but if you get hit by 2 or 3, it can take your health down pretty quick. So with Flame Toss, we can one-shot these guys with this wooden catalyst. And he dropped a Soldier's Lotus, that cures bleed. And we get a bleed resistance ring. The gash resists. Not a wholly useful ring, maybe one of the most useless rings. And right here is a new item not in the original game. This is the Blue-Eyed Knight mail or armor. And we can talk to Ostrava.
Thank you. That's twice now. Time to forge ahead. This is a token of my gratitude. Please accept it.
And he will give us 3 Dark Moon grass, which is the most powerful grass in the game. It's a full heal along with healing all status ailments. So it's basically like this game's version of an elixir.
This is bad. Not a single person left. Why on earth? How did this happen, noble father?
Yeah, so he is clearly not with it because he was away in the southern areas, southern regions, to the region south of Boletaria, and he's returned after the fact of the demons running amok, and he is unaware of what his father has done, so he's having a pretty rude awakening coming through here. And we could continue on, but we're not going to do this right now. We got the winged spear, which we don't have enough strength to one-hand, but we can two-hand it. So we're gonna make our way back. And you want to run right as he finishes. You can kill that dragon if you come here. You can kill him with spells or arrows, but it does take a while if you don't have a powerful, if you're not very powerful. But you can come here with a lot of arrows and just slowly pick away at him, but it takes a long time, so we're not going to bother with that for now. Oh, and something else I forgot to mention when I was talking about equip burden is, you see the top right there, there's a number. That's my equipment burden. It's 11 out of 39. If I can't overburden myself now, but we'll go back to the Nexus. If that number gets above 50, if it's above 50%, you will get your slow roll.
Hello again. I'm keeping a close watch on your belongings, don't you worry.
So we'll just take out the, we picked up that. See, this is the red-eyed knight, and this is the blue-eyed knight. As far as I can tell, it looks exactly the same, and it has the same defenses and the same stats. Yeah, so, but we'll take out some heavy equipment. That thing weighs 10.
You have a heart of gold.
So,
Don't let them take it from you.
you see we're at 28%. Equipping this puts us at 37.4. Equipping that puts us at 59.5. So we can still fast roll here, but if we equip this armor, we're suddenly down to a slow roll. And we can keep equipping gear. We're at 85.1. We still have that slow roll, but notice our stamina recovery too. The heavier equipment load you have, the slower your stamina recovery. So you see how much slower that is versus if we exhaust our stamina here, and then it comes back much more quickly. So we're at 85. If we equip this shield, we're at 99.2. And we can still fast roll, but what if we equip this? Now we're at 117.2. So now we are over encumbered and we cannot roll at all. And we can only slow walk. We cannot run. You can still attack, but you cannot roll. And you cannot run. So that's obviously, there are 3 levels to this. There's over encumbered, which is over 100%, and then there's between 50 and 100 is you'll move more slowly. You still have a decently fast run, but your roll will be a lot slower, and you have less iframes on your roll. And then below 50% is a fast roll. Now in Dark Souls, they changed it so that you had to be under 25%, and then they added a mid-roll. So there was a fast roll, mid-roll, and then a fat roll, and then the slow walk. And then there were like increments within fast and mid-roll, like that allowed you to roll further. Now you could take off all your equipment. And I think your roll is the same. I don't think it matters in this game. I don't think it matters in Demon Souls. So as long as you're under 50%, you're usually pretty good. Oh no, we want that winged spear. Don't really need those throwing knives. And you see that character, that's literally Fei Dao, which means flying knife. Dao is the same word for knife or blade, as I said, as it can be for certain swords. Like this one I was showing, the Wan Dao, which is the it means like maritime or curved sword. A saber, they call it a scimitar.
You have a heart of gold. Don't let them take it from you.
For the next level, though, we'll be going to Stonefang.
Are you begging for a magic lesson?
And for that, we will not need Flame Toss, but we will want Water Veil or Water Mask, because there is fire damage there.
Be careful how you use it. Normally, it would not be granted to one such as yourself. I had to make an exception.
Yes. So, if you're casting a spell like Water Veil, which I've not actually seen the effect of, but it gives you this trail of water. And you can feel your controller vibrating a little bit. It's like very dull. Interesting. I think that lasts for like a minute. And it should... 65, does that... I don't know if it's reflected in your... $105. So when this wears off, I wonder if it'll show it. I don't remember how much fire defense it gives you, but it's pretty decent, I recall. Oh, yeah, if you're casting a self-buff, using the Silver Catalyst is totally fine. And, 65? I don't think it changed. I don't think that number changed. Yeah, it doesn't display the defense. Can we upgrade?
It's simple. We trade with your souls.
I think we can upgrade the spear. But I want to upgrade the rapier first, so we'll get that to +2. But the spear will be useful.
Do come back alive.
Do we have any... Oh, we want to deposit that Dark Moon Grass, because that's very heavy. The way that they balance the grass in this game, in the remake, the stronger the grass, the less of it you can carry and the heavier it is. For Crescent and Half Moon, which are the two weakest healing grasses. You can carry 50 of each. And late and full moon, you can carry 25. And then new and dark moon, you can carry 10. But you can see here we have 3, and that already weighs 6 units. So they weigh 2 units each, which is pretty heavy for grass. I can show the lead demon soul. It quite literally is lead. That first character there is Tian, which is it means lead, like the element. Tian. That the left radical on the character, you see, if you look at that character, you can divide it between the left side, which is like one section, the right side has these 2 sort of strokes that make almost like an N shape, and then there's like a box underneath there. That's the right side of the radical. On the left side, that part of it, Jin, that means metal. And a lot of times when you see characters that have that element or radical in them, they are in some way related to metal. But all the boss souls have a unique look to them, and I think that is a really cool touch, and I like the way that they redesigned them in the remake. So yeah, that's the lead demon soul. This soul can be used to make the scraping spear. It's a weapon. It's just basically the same weapon that the boss throws at you when you first open the main gate.
You have a heart of gold. Don't let them take it from you.
But I think that'll have to do it for this episode, guys. Oh, Ostrava is here. I forgot. Let's talk to him first.
Before the Blight, Boletaria was a grand kingdom. The king, his knights, and his subjects were modest and plain, but also steadfast and compassionate. I have spent much time in my studies in the cultured countries of the south, yet no country holds my heart as does Boletaria. But look at what has become of us now. I refuse to believe that this is what Father wished for our great land. Here in Boletaria, we speak of the legend of the 2 swords and the solitary hero. The 2 swords are Demon Brand and Soul Brand. One sword banishes that which befouls man, and the other banishes man himself. The solitary hero is old King Doran. King Doran is the Everlasting One, founder of Boletaria and protector of the 2 swords. Of course, only according to legend. But in the dark state of our land, sometimes legends are all we have.
And so he tells us about the 2 swords.
But in the dark state of our land, sometimes legends are all we have.
Okay, so I'm not sure what it is that triggers. I think you might have to beat the next boss in Boletaria to get more of his dialogue, because he does have more things to say. But I think that's going to have to do it for this episode, guys. I know it wasn't as action-packed, we'll say. It was a lot of going through items, talking about the Chinese names. Hopefully that's interesting to you guys. I figured if I'm going to be playing this game in Chinese, I might as well, point out the names of these things, because especially if my viewers don't speak Chinese or know much about the Chinese language, I'd like to, take some time to show that. I don't want to get overwhelmed with that, but I thought there were some noteworthy things that I wanted to point out, and hopefully it was of interest to some of you. And in the next episode, we will be going to Stonefang. So I hope to see you all then. Please leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Umbasa.